The doctor told me I only had a few years left to live, but today I'm 86, still walking every morning, still making my own coffee every afternoon. That's the quiet triumph of Mr. Walter, a retired schoolteacher from Oregon. He's not an athlete. He never followed a strict diet. But for nearly 3 decades, he's stayed healthy and independent thanks to 5 simple habits. If you're looking for small changes that can lead to big improvements in your health as you age, Walter's story is one you won't want to miss. Before we uncover those 5 golden habits, don't forget to subscribe to Life in Words, where we share real-life, inspiring stories about longevity, wellness, and the quiet power of aging well, for seniors and for the ones who love them. 1. Every step is an act of self-love. Each morning, just as the sun touches the rooftops, Harold, 78 years old, puts on his worn brown hat, zips up his windbreaker, and steps out the door. "The doctor told me to get some light exercise every day," he says with a smile. "But I don't think of it as exercise. To me, walking feels more like a quiet conversation with myself." At first, Harold could barely make it around the block. He used to be an engineer, always focused on numbers and deadlines, rarely noticing how slow and stiff his body had become. But after a few weeks, something shifted. His legs felt lighter, his breathing steadier, and his mind clearer than it had been in years. Walking, so simple, so accessible, turned out to be a powerful medicine for his aging body. In fact, research shows that just 30 minutes of walking a day can reduce the risk of heart disease by up to 40%, lower blood pressure, help regulate blood sugar, and calm the nervous system. But the benefits go beyond the physical. As Harold walks past the golden leaves and rustling trees, he often pauses, just for a moment, to listen to the breeze, look up at the soft sky, and feel an unexpected peace settle into his chest. "Walking helps me slow down. It makes me grateful," he says. "I notice every breath, every bird song, every footstep. Each step reminds me, I'm still here. I'm still alive." If you don't know where to start small. A walk around the yard, a few minutes on the porch. You don't need to go far. You don't need to go fast. You just need to open the door. Your heart and your feet will take care of the rest. 2. Your body doesn't need to be young again, just deeply cared for. Eleanor, now 81, used to be a literature teacher who loved herbal teas and classic poetry. But after turning 75, she began feeling constantly tired. Her skin lost its glow, her memory faded, and she simply assumed it was just part of getting old. "I thought it was normal," she says, "until my granddaughter gave me a new way to see things." One afternoon, her granddaughter looked at her and said, "Grandma, you're like a beautiful vintage car. If you want it to run well, you've got to use good fuel." That one sentence changed everything. Eleanor's kitchen went through a quiet revolution. Out went the canned food, instant noodles, and deep-fried snacks. In came colorful bowls of fresh salads, warm oats in the morning, baked salmon with roasted vegetables, and handfuls of almonds and walnuts. Healthy eating wasn't about strict diets or punishing routines. It was about kindness, about treating her aging body with the same tenderness it had shown her over the years. And the result? Within just 3 weeks, she smiles, I felt clearer, I slept deeper, and my skin started to glow again. Science backs her up. A diet rich in leafy greens, fresh fruits, whole grains, healthy fats, and nutrient-packed nuts not only helps maintain a healthy weight, but also lowers the risk of diabetes, high blood pressure, chronic inflammation, and even dementia. Of course, not everyone can make a complete change overnight. Eleanor didn't either. "I started with just one meal," she shares. "One new vegetable, one day without sugar, one afternoon cooking with my granddaughter." She now calls her kitchen her little playground, a place where she gets to explore flavors and feel creatively alive again. You don't have to cook like a chef. Just begin with a simple list of foods that make you feel good, and let your body know you're finally listening. 3. Your mind needs exercise, just like your legs do. Thomas, 76, used to be a skilled carpenter. His hands were so precise, he could build a cabinet without ever needing a blueprint. But after retiring, something shifted. He often sat for hours on the same chair, staring into space, uninterested in anything around him. "I felt like a machine that had been unplugged," he recalls quietly. Everything changed the day he stumbled upon a recording of a piano piece his late wife used to love. That melody brought tears to his eyes. The very next day, he signed up for a beginner piano class. He was the oldest student in the room, but he was also the most dedicated. "I wasn't just learning piano," he says with a smile. "I was learning how to come alive again." Each time Thomas sat at the keyboard, he had to focus, memorize, and coordinate his eyes and hands. It wasn't easy, but it was beautiful. From shaky first notes to playing his first full song just a few months later, Thomas began to feel his memory sharpen, his spirits rise, and his heart open to new friendships in the class. Science agrees. Mental stimulation, whether it's reading, solving puzzles, playing chess, learning a new skill like painting or cooking, or even dancing, can create new neural pathways and help keep the brain sharp, alert, and resilient. You don't have to start with a piano. Begin with what feels simple: a page of a good book, a board game with your grandchild, a handwritten letter, or a story from your youth shared out loud. Training your mind isn't about fighting aging. It's about fully living each moment you still have. 4. When your legs grow stronger, your heart grows calmer. At 79, Eleanor dreaded even getting out of bed. Every step felt like a risk, especially after a bad fall once sent her to the hospital. Her family worried. She withdrew more and more into her bedroom, avoiding any movement that wasn't absolutely necessary. Then one day, her granddaughter showed her a short video online, a group of seniors doing light home workouts. They smiled, they moved, and they looked vibrant and full of life. Eleanor hesitated, but decided to try. She started with the simplest movement, slowly standing up and sitting down from a chair, just a few times a day. 1 month later, she could do light squats, wall push-ups, and even lift 1 kilo weights each morning. 2 small water bottles she jokingly called her kitchen dumbbells. Science has a name for age-related muscle loss: sarcopenia, a major cause of falls, reduced independence, and lower quality of life in older adults. But here's the good news: your body can regain strength, even at 80, even at 85. With consistent, gentle strength training, you'll start to notice real changes. More stable steps, easier time climbing stairs, deeper sleep, brighter moods. A simple reminder: never push yourself too hard. Start with 5 to 10 minutes a day, focus on proper form, and consult your doctor, especially if you have chronic health conditions. You don't need a gym to get stronger. All you need is belief, a sturdy chair, and 2 water bottles. That's more than enough to begin your comeback. 5. Connection. The most powerful medicine you don't need a prescription for. Walter, 82, was once a beloved literature teacher. known for his wit and warm heart. But after his wife passed, he slowly began to retreat. Fewer phone calls, meals alone. The sound of the television became the only voice in his home each evening. "The less I spoke, the more I felt like I was fading from the world," he confessed. One day, a young neighbor invited him to a local book club. He hesitated, but finally said yes, partly because of a novel he was halfway through, thinking, maybe someone else likes this one too. Within just a few weeks, Walter was smiling more. He was telling stories, listening to others, sharing recipes, and even signed up for a senior dance class. Every small conversation felt like a spark, gently warming a heart that had grown too cold for too long. Studies show loneliness can harm your health as much as smoking. It increases your risk of depression, high blood pressure, and chronic inflammation. But on the flip side, social connection reduces stress, boosts your immune system, and keeps your mind sharper. You don't need to join big groups or noisy events. Sometimes, a phone call to a loved one, a handwritten letter to an old friend, or a quiet cup of tea with a neighbor is all it takes to begin healing. Don't wait until loneliness finds you. Start planting those little seeds of connection today, because a heart that's heard always stays younger than a heart that's silent. Growing older isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you get to choose how you live, slower, deeper, and more meaningfully. Whether it starts with a short walk, a nourishing meal, or a heartfelt conversation, remember, every small habit is a gift you give to yourself. Healthy aging doesn't require perfection or pressure, just a little kindness toward your body and mind each and every day. If you believe that your golden years can be the most beautiful season of life, where health, connection, and joy still thrive, then hit that subscribe button for Life in Words. We'll be right here with you, each week, with a new story, a gentle reminder, and a dose of inspiration, so you don't just live longer, you live better.